One of the most important speeches in American history is Patrick Henry's Libertyor Death speech. And it's most famous for its ending line, "Give me liberty or give me death." To me, that is certainly a powerful part of the persuasion of the speech, because whenever someone hears you say, "Give me liberty or give me death," they have to imagine those words in their own head. So when you just read it out loud, you yourself are saying to yourself, "Give me liberty or give me death." And it's something that we want to identify with. Everybody wants to seem brave and bold, willing to fight for the cause all the way to the end. But to me, the strongest part of the speech actually happens more in the middle. In a lot of politics, the issue is not to get people to agree with your political views. Often, the people who you're talking to already agree with your political views, and your job is to inspire them to act. And that can be actually just as hard as, and sometimes harder than, convincing people to agree with you. In modern politics, we often call that get out the vote, which is getting people who agree with your position, who already agree with you, to actually go and vote for you. They already agree with you, and the hard part is to get them to go and vote for you. It's one of the most important parts of politics, and it's difficult. Now, it's nowhere near as difficult as what Patrick Henry had to deal with here. He had to get his countrymen not just to vote, but to go to war. And that's not an easy thing to convince people of, especially when the other side is one of the largest and most powerful armies in the world. Now, when you're faced with the option of fighting a super powerful army or anything else, most people are going to choose anything else. They're going to choose verbal petitions, they're going to choose written petitions, they're going to choose a compromise, they're going to choose literally anything but the war. And Patrick Henry's job is to get people who agree with him. They agree that America needs more right and Britain's being real difficult. They agree with him. He's got to get them to act. And so he starts off not by portraying himself as a mad firebrand, but by actually someone who's judicious. He says, "I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience." In other words, he's telling people, I'm going to do something based on experience and wisdom, not because I'm a hothead. He goes on, and he asks this question. He asks a series of questions that really makes people have to face an unpleasant truth. The unpleasant truth is they might have to go to war, and of course the other side is very powerful, not a group of people that you want to go to war with. Ask yourself how this gracious reception of our petition comports with these warlike preparation which cover our waters and darken our land. Are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? He's asking if the other side is planning to reconcile with us, to compromise with us, what are all the armies here for? What are the fleets here for? He asks, have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves. So again, he's not saying we need to be so awesome and epic. He says we need to be wise. We can't trick ourselves. We need to be intelligent. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which kings resort. I ask, gentlemen, sir, what means this martial array, if its purpose not be to force us into submission? He's saying, what are these armies for? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. So what is he doing? The other side doesn't disagree with him. Remember, these are his friends. They agree that Britain's being a problem. They're just scared of the war. And so they're going to find any excuse. They're going to try to procrastinate. Listen, you might have probably procrastinated an annoying English paper that you don't want to do. They're facing war. That's way worse. They're going to want to procrastinate that even more. And he's getting them to not procrastinate by calling upon them to see the obvious. Now, notice that he uses a lot of rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions are powerful because they make the audience think. The audience has to actually ask the question, and come up with the answer, even if the answer is obvious. If you ask, what are these armies for? Most people are like, I don't know, the armies are probably here to kill us or to beat us down. And that's the power of this stuff. He's really making it clear that I know you guys want to sit around. I know nobody wants to go to war. I know we want to do this, but let's think about experience. Let's not trick ourselves. Let's look at the obvious that they've come over here with armies, and let's fight for it. Fortunately for the United States, the speech worked. And you're going to try out some of these techniques in a speech of your own.